I got over there in July of 1942. I got home in June of 1945, 3 years overseas. The invasion of Italy, I was in the invasion of southern France, and North Africa. In fact, when the war ended, I had a lot of, when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, I was driving my car down Oakland Avenue in front of what is now Forest Park Community College. It used to be Forest Park Highlands. And I had just gotten my notice the day before. Congratulations, you're in the Army. Report to Jefferson Barracks, January 2nd. So when I got that notice, it was before Pearl Harbor. I said, damn. But then Pearl Harbor came on Sunday, and everybody was gung-ho then. All the young men were very patriotic. I had a business that started about a year and a half before, and I had a girlfriend who wanted to get married. We were looking at rings. So, and I was 25 years old. I wasn't exactly a kid. Here was a picture I got taken up at Fort Warren, Wyoming, when I was a GI, you know, I mean, enlisted. They were taking applications from college graduates that had some business experience to become officers for the officers training camp. He said, get out of here, you're on KP. He threw me on KP. I had to peel potatoes and stuff like that. And about a week later, they put this sign up. All college graduates with business experience can come and take an exam. Of course, or put your name down here. I put my name down. I was one of the first ones. About a month later, I was sent off to Camp Lee, Virginia, to officers training school. And 3 months after that, I was an officer. I was one of those 90-day wonders, as they call it. I figured, boy, what a deal. I got Wilmington Army Air Base on the beach for the summer. So I came to St. Louis and got my car, and I drove back to Wilmington and reported in. They said, well, Lieutenant, don't unpack. Do you have a car here? Yeah, he said, well, you better get somebody to pick it up because we're heading out, heading overseas. And we learned that we were going to take a fast trip over to England. And we said, oh my God, the Germans were sinking, the German submarines were sinking ships in that North Atlantic like mad in that spring and summer of '42, so we were all pretty scared. We were then shipped up to Scotland, where we picked up a convoy, and we're in the invasion of North Africa. So in November, I landed in North Africa. I was promoted, I think, either in England or as we got to South Africa, from second lieutenant to first lieutenant. And it turned out that I ended the war a first lieutenant. We were an air service company called, and we were part of an air group. We were the 1120th Quartermaster Company in the 19th Air Service Group. And 19th Air Service Group's job was to set up and get into operation air bases, and mostly for fighter groups, advance planes, I mean, you know, air support for invasions or whatever it was. But this is how we got out of North Africa. And incidentally, a part of our group was assigned to Patton when he was in North Africa, and when the Americans met their first defeat, Rommel just kicked the hell out of Patton and his men in that first event. But then in the second one, Patton was ready and coordinated, and he helped push Rommel into the sea, in effect. But I didn't last very long in North Africa. We went to a little island of Pantelleria, and that's where we furnished the air cover for Sicily, the invasion of Sicily. I had my first battle action when we unloaded ships. I was in charge of a group of men unloading ships, food, to take to our warehouse. and we were attacked by German dive bombers. And I'll tell you, that is really a scary thing. Ain't much you can do, you know, you're in a hole or you're in this or in that. And of course I survived, naturally, as did so many of these other veterans when so many of their friends got killed. But it was sheer terror. That was the only terror action that I was in. I landed in southern France on September 15th, and our assignment was to set up air bases to furnish close air support for Patton, who was coming around. You know, he was circling the German armies, heading for Germany in a big loop. And we were to go in behind him there, and we got into southern France, and I was the only happy guy, I think, in our group when Patton told us, hey, I don't need those guys. I need them putting pressure on the Germans in northern Italy and in Austria to take more of the pressure off of me here. So they sent us back to Italy, and the reason I was happy is because I had just married an Italian girl in Italy in May of that year. And I was going to go back, you know, to Italy, so I would perhaps get a chance to see her, which of course I did. And I had quite an army life. Of course, I've had quite a life. These are some of the letters I wrote home. I was a prolific letter writer. My stepmother, my mother had died when I was 18, and my stepmother kept track of the letters and put them in binders like this. I got about a dozen of these. This is only from Fort Warren, Wyoming to Fort Dix, New Jersey. This was 6 months, and these weren't all letters, just the more important ones. She said that in a 2-month period I wrote 43 letters.
Wow.
That was more than one every other day. A letter from the wife of my best friend this was in June, written in June of 1944. She had just got word her husband got killed in the invasion. And she was pregnant with a little girl. The little girl now is 60 years old. In North Africa, we had what was called 4 Jills in a Jeep. 4 Hollywood, they were supposed to be Hollywood stars. One of you haven't heard of any of them, but Kay Landis was one of them. She was a rather famous dramatic actress, but there was a gal that was kind of like Lana Turner or that type, was Carol Landis. Here's a picture of her and me in North Africa. I entertained the Hollywood stars because I was the officer of the day, and I got a letter from her from Hollywood, 20th Century Fox Studio, Los Angeles, in October of that year, 43. Said, "Dear Bob, it was sure good to hear from you. As always, Carol." Carol, it's me in the Globe Democrat of Thursday morning, March 18, 1943, escorting Hollywood stars convoyed by St. Louis officers. This is with Carol Landis, the picture that they took of me.